Hi.
Is this the point where we do
Hi,
something
everybody.
silly?
Yeah, it normally it would be. Hi, everyone. It is Saturday, and it is just after 6 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone, which means that it is time for another episode of Tides of Zemali. And this is episode 30, everybody. That feels significant because it ends with a 0.
Yes.
Oh boy, we have got some fun stuff to do today, but before we do that, we've got to tell you about some of the fun stuff that we've got coming up.
Yeah. Monday, we have Echoes of Convergence. We just finished tracking down our Genasi friends and attending a big celebration. And then we made a deal with the Genasi that if we could make a deal with these people that all we know is that they glow, sort of, maybe. Whatever they are. We need to make a deal with these mountain folk so that our so that the Genasi can safely pass through the mountains and worship a entity known as Orindar. Is that how? Yeah, Orindar. I'm getting the lore right. Our warlock almost died because her family decided to come and try and assassinate her. And I think that was the first time our cleric druid also went unconscious, which was a little bit scary since he's our healer.
Well, except for that other time.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
yeah,
the first
but
time except the other time.
It didn't. That one.
That doesn't count.
By then, everyone else was also passed out, so
Yeah,
it wasn't
okay.
as like, you know. It was like, who's gonna bring?
Feels like
him
it was worse, but
Well,
It was
I
different.
didn't say
It
it
was
was
different.
better.
It was different.
Yes,
We can
it
all
was a
agree on
different
that.
kind. That one was kind of like, are we gonna have a next session? So yeah, you can join us for Echoes of Convergence on Monday at 5 p.m. MST. We won't be having a session of Embers and Arcanum, which is the game that I run this week, but we will be back next week or the week after that. We might be doing some test streams because we've been having a hell of a time with some sound issues on Tuesdays. So
Only on Tuesdays, though.
yes, it's a thing. Apart from that, yeah, I mean, Tides will be back in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens tonight, I guess.
Yeah, we will. Speaking of things that happened tonight, I got too absorbed into that synopsis of what happened in our other game last week, and it completely pushed the summary that I had cooked up of this game out of my mind. So I'll do my best. So, last time on the Tides of Zemali, our characters did a lot of shopping, honestly. Went around town, talked to some NPCs, got some items. The ranger owns a falling down building in town now, bought it for $10 on the condition that he agreed to fix it up inside of 2 years. Went and bought some items from friendly vendors, Brilliant and Baubles, and then went out into the forest south up the Kayana River to find one-time Crystal Harbor resident Broxel, or whatever remains of him in his new plant form, where they spent the night in his little grove, and while the party slept, he brewed them up some potions of Fomorian giant strength, sent them off with a good number of those to use for whatever purpose they desire. After getting all their shopping done and hiring a few contractors to replace all the windows in their burnt out, soon to be tavern, the party had their patron, the storm giant Alvitende, teleport them back up to her bastion high in the Gilded Peaks, where they learned that the statue of a crystalline dragon they received back from Brilliant and Baubles after having given it to them to inspect was not the same one that they originally gave them. And on revealing this deception, we're going to pick right back up there when we get back from the intro. Welcome back. All right, so we're going to pick back up right where we left off in what functions as a living room in Alvitende's castle, still in bad disrepair. Having learned of this deception from Brilliant and Baubles, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm not a big fan of being deceived, and I'm certainly inclined to have a rather curt conversation with Brilliant and Baubles, but we have to consider that this dragon that we suspect was trapped in the statue, we believe to be a good dragon. perhaps it requested that they keep its identity a secret.
Well, I'm not surprised that I was tricked. I am a little bit surprised that you both were as though.
Well, I never saw the statue before it was handed off, and I have no reason to believe that there was anything more to this than it being a statue at the time. But you're right. I probably should have picked up on the deception.
So what do you think that we should do then? I could cast Descending, and if something feels strange, then maybe we go check.
We know where to find them. There's no need to reveal we know they've deceived us until we return. I'd rather have the conversation face to face in case they are untrustworthy.
And Cam is looking at Wade to see what his facial expressions are like at the moment.
Right now, if you were to look at Wade, he would not be happy. There's like an internal struggle about, like, you know, he entrusted someone with something that could cause a lot of harm if, you know, if the same thing happened that we did with Alvitende's miniature. And now he's thinking that he shouldn't be so, you know, trusting of people with things of value, things of importance. I don't feel any better about this. It's very disheartening, to say the least.
I mean, we have kind of... If Learas is right, and they didn't mean to, they didn't have malicious intent, we have sort of done the same thing to other people.
It's true. We have kept things secret for the sake of not causing a disturbance or protecting someone who might be ostracized.
I'd like to think that there's some level of difference, but at the same time, we don't know what happened between us dropping off the statue and getting this fake one back. I don't want to assume that, I mean, maybe they don't know. Maybe, you know, whatever they did with it, you know, maybe someone replaced the original with this.
It is true. They did get their shipment stolen before, and we've had to secure things on their behalf.
We still don't know what happened to the shipment.
And then they had that whole thing with the explosion in their shop. All sorts of things could have happened.
I would like to know, and I would also like to talk to them about, you know, the whole, after we dropped it off, like, why is what we have not what we gave them?
Yes. Well, I agree completely. I think it's a conversation we have to have. It's one we ought to have face to face so that we can detect any deception. And if we need to deal with something malicious, we will. But there's no point in warning them ahead of time that we know. And there's no point in jumping to conclusions either. After all, again, if this dragon was concerned for his life and part of the group that was returning to claim it is a famous monster hunter, I can see why there might be reason to conceal the truth from us.
There's something else we were planning on doing, right?
Yes, I believe we wanted to head west and close get some closure on what's going on with Cam's mother.
I totally understand if that's not as important, though, right now. She did make a choice to go that way.
And like Learas said, Brilliant and Baubles are going to be there. We haven't. I feel like we have time to come back to them and perhaps give ourselves some time to let these emotions settle, so that when we approach them, we're not accusatory or anything of the like.
It's good to approach it with a clear head.
Okay, so we get some rest and head out. How do we get there? Do we just walk down the mountain in a different direction than we have in the past?
I think, Cam, you for sure would know, and Learas, you would probably know this as well, that the town of Sten's Gap got its name because it is near a pass in the mountains that they had attempted to develop into a road, a way of commerce to reach Yanura, but the bog and the flooded forest proved too much of an obstacle and too hazardous for that to be successful.
But we have.
But if you're going to the bog, then that'd
be
pretty
the
much a road.
Okay. There's a pass,
okay.
And what's left of a road that people tried to build and didn't finish.
Okay. I suppose we go down to Sten's Gap. I wouldn't want to go all the way around, especially if she's not even. Well, I don't want to think about where she stopped on the way. David, what time of day was it when we got beamed up to the mountain? I'm just gonna always refer it to.
I mean, it's apt. It's an early afternoon, okay. 1 or 2.
And it took us. We at least had to sleep once last time we traversed the mountain, correct?
You, now that there's now that you've cleared off the blizzard and kind of know the way, you can get to Sten. If you left right now to head to Sten's Gap, you would probably get there, maybe 10 or 11 at night. It's because it's faster going downhill than it is to get up.
Fair enough. Yeah, I forgot we had a storm to deal with the last time we came.
Tiny toboggan.
What did we have anything else to tell Alvitende before we leave, though?
She already translated the stuff I brought from the thing underwater, right?
It wasn't so much a translation as she was able to tell you, because it's not a message necessarily. Or wait, are you talking about the stuff from the magic circle or the stuff from around the doorway?
The stuff from around the doorway.
Okay, yeah, she was able to translate that for you. The magic circle has no translation as it is
Right.
magic.
Then I don't think so, unless I'm just forgetting something, which is very possible.
Possible. Head out then.
Yeah. Alvitende, you don't by any chance know of any other Fomorian? Oh, she already told us that too, didn't she?
Yeah, she was going to
Yeah.
do some research and find some other ruins in the vicinity.
Right. Okay, then yeah, I'm pretty sure we covered our bases.
All right. And she, so you're getting ready to head out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you get up to leave, Alvitende will... I wish you a safe journey to the swamps and back. I hear it's very dangerous out there. And if you do pass through Sten's Gap, please do not forget my message for the Stonedivers Guild.
Remind me what that message is.
She had asked you to get word to Alexandra Caspri that she basically wanted to strike a deal with them to get some help rebuilding her home, basically.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I am looking forward to seeing her again. We'll be sure to do that. We've been kind of on the go a lot, so sorry that it took so long.
It sounds like there were things that took priority, understandably.
So many things.
Yeah, it's actually good to feel a little bit directionless, even though we still have multiple things we have to look into. Not feeling as though we have to urgently run to the next thing is nice for a change. Is there anything else that you need assistance with while we're here or while we're out there?
Just labor and resources to rebuild and restock if you happen to come across a small token resembling, this is a very long shot, a small chest encrusted in gems by chance, kind of makes a size. It would be, a couple feet on each side to you, but it would be a scale model of a chest in her hands. I have some resources stashed away somewhere, but I do not have the components I need to access them.
We'll keep our eyes open.
I will probably have to fashion another one. That's my interest in speaking with the Stonedivers.
Is the small chest the components or the
Yes.
resources needed?
Well,
Okay.
yes, both. It is a spell component that I need to access other resources and components.
Oh, actually, while we're here, perhaps you could do something with this. And he's going to pull out one of those large purple crystals from his backpack. It's quite tiny for you. But we believe that these are connected to the Soluvian somehow. And perhaps they're in tune with the far realm. And whatever they're doing with them, they had 4 of these trying to influence a blue one that we believe is in tune with the Feywild.
Hand, right?
In a hand, yeah, in a stone sculpture of a hand out on the island.
I will discover what I can. Fascinating.
We trust that this won't be dangerous in your hands, so...
I shall... Well, it may be dangerous in anyone's hands if it is attuned with the far realm. Nonetheless, I will be cautious.
Well, if you need to call us back, you know how.
Indeed I do. I'll try to give you warning first.
Well, I appreciate that. We should probably head out.
Swift journey.
Cam is going to start digging around in her bag and pull out some of the warmer clothes that they had purchased before they head out. Probably make sure that they all have their like climbers gear just in case. She'll maybe with Learas' help try to traverse back down the mountain quickly.
Okay, so you're trying to make good time? Like, go faster than normal, or...?
Yeah.
We're trying to arrive in town before everything's closed, I would assume.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something, Pal?
Pace.
I was going to say it's a shame that I have to wear such a warm, thick cloak for such weather.
Right, well, if I could have one of you make a survival check with advantage, or have both of you make one to navigate back down the mountain, roll quick like.
You can go.
That'll be 27.
Woo! Yeah. Yeah, you're able to make exceptional time down the mountain and shave a couple of hours off of your journey. Fortunately, it hasn't been snowing, the wind is at your back, and I'll say you get back in town around 8:30 at night. There's still some shops open.
Was there a specific like tavern that we had met with Alexandra before? In Sten's Gap?
You met with her at the Orvane.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Where Toman works.
Yes.
Should we... Was there, like, rooms there as well? Like, was it an inn and tavern or just a tavern?
I don't think you inquired.
Okay.
But there is a second floor, so assume about that what you will.
Okay. I think we'll maybe just go through the town then, and if we come across wherever the guild headquarters are first, then we'll go there first. But if we come across Orvane first, then we'll go there.
The sort of the large booth at the back of the Orvane is kind of the unofficial headquarters of the Stonedivers.
Okay, I got it.
It's not where they keep their papers or documents or anything, but there's usually somebody from the guild there at any hour as long as the tavern's open. Yeah, you all hustle down the mountain as the sun is setting behind it, and make really good time getting into Crystal Heart, or Jesus, I'm reading things on my document while I'm talking, making it into Sten's Gap just a little bit after sundown, which does come early this high in the mountains, with the mountains to the west of you. And you head to the Orvane. Most of the businesses in town are closed or in the process of closing, but as it is a tavern, it is still quite lively and still getting more lively at this hour. The place is packed with people. Looks like mostly people who've come down off the mountain after a long day of work, and it's bustling. There's some music going. It seems like a good convivial atmosphere in here. And at the back, in the same table you met her before, is the familiar visage of the green tiefling with crystalline horns, Alexandra Caspri.
I think on the way, Cam makes note of the there was like a general store that was like nearby, that we kind of made the joke that it was always covered every time Cam came here, so she never noticed the actual name of the store. It's like, see, it is always covered.
It's Benson's General.
But there is a tarp over the sign right now.
Like half covered. But I think she lights up when she sees Alexandra. She's just completely fascinated by the woman's horns in particular, and finds her very shiny. I think she's just like, Alexandra, like before there's like maybe 15 feet before she even gets there.
Yeah, she kind of hears, because it's kind of loud in here, so she looks up as though she heard someone say her name, but not where it came from exactly.
Thaumaturgy. Project my voice.
Yeah. Welcome back. Come on, sit down.
Yeah, she slides like right into the booth and makes room for the other two.
What brings you back to town?
Oh, a number of things actually, but we're here specifically right now to see you.
That's so. What can I do for you?
Well, we had kind of had.
Go ahead.
Well, you might say it better than I will.
We have a proposition for you regarding some labor and resources, like rebuilding. Are you familiar with the storm giant in the mountains now? Is that
Heard some talk of a giant walking around up there. Been trying to give it a wide berth. Seems to be keeping to herself for now.
You might have to stop doing that very soon.
She looks a little bit concerned.
Oh no, she's friendly.
Friendly giant. How
he's
about that?
requesting help rebuilding her home.
And it's quite large. Like everything in your house is very big, so it means that you probably will have a lot of work out of it.
Yeah, you could probably employ your stoneworkers for quite some time on this one.
Interesting. So am I to work out this offer with you?
I think we were, right? It was quite a while ago since we last talked.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's
I think
the memory is definitely faded.
Alvitende had requested that you arrange a meeting.
Okay.
Right.
I think the storm giant, her name is Alvitende, would like to meet with you to discuss the details further.
She looks summoned to an audience by a giant.
Yeah,
This keeps getting more and more interesting.
For obvious reasons, I don't think she wants to come down here. It might alarm some people.
No, that's probably fair.
But we've been to her home several times now, and she is rather accommodating.
We actually have rooms there as well. They're not very
sort
nice. They need fixing.
They need some work.
Well, if I'm to be the one arranging to get them fixed up, you'll have to let me know how you want your rooms done. I guess. Fixing up a giant's castle. The boys are never going to believe this.
Oh, well, just take a good look at me. And she like kind of gestures to like the gold and silver and just the way she's kind of emitting like almost a soft glow from her skin. And I like anything that would match that.
Noted. She's still trying to pay attention to this conversation, but there's just all kinds of thoughts happening.
I'm not as picky, as long as it's comfortable.
Well, I suppose we can deal with the particulars after I... This Alvitende, you said? Your employer? You doing her a favor? What's going on here?
She's sort of our benefactor.
Huh.
We're actually called the Heralds of the Storm because of her.
Now that's fancy.
It is fancy. I've
I like
never
the
had a
sound of that.
party name before. Of course, I've never been part of a party before, so...
And here I thought the Stonedivers was a pretty good name.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
But if you give me your map, I can show you the safest way up the mountain.
Sure. And she rustles through a bag that she's got sitting in the booth next to her and lays out a map of the area, which is quite highly detailed.
Impressive. And he'll mark the path that they've been taking up and to her fort.
Good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, and she's expecting us now.
She is, yes.
Guess I gotta go meet a giant tomorrow.
Oh, you'll have a lot of fun. She is really nice.
Wow. You made my week a lot more interesting.
Glad to be of service. Is
I
there
guess that makes us
anything-
about to be business partners.
In a sense.
Fantastic. To like flag over someone from the tavern to get these people some drinks on me.
Well, you're far too kind, but I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, and just the server just kind of nods, runs back behind the counter, and comes back with 3 tankards of whatever it is that Alexandra's drinking, 1 for each of you.
Cam isn't as picky as my other characters, so she's just gonna.
Pretty good. It's a nice ale, nothing fancy, but it's good.
And how is business for the Stonedivers? Any more trouble?
Not much more trouble since that storm's cleared off.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Anything else going on in town?
Oh, it's been pretty calm here. The storm was the big news. One of my men said he thought he saw something big flying through the sky at night a few days back. Nobody else.
Which direction?
He said it was heading up in the kind of a northeasterly direction from here. Mostly north.
Uh-oh.
Towards Adolfo's Jewel?
Kind of that way.
We will have to look into that.
Nobody else has seen anything. But we've been having people keep a lookout. Large flying things are usually good to know about.
True. I suspect this one won't be a danger to you, but I can't say for certain.
Well, we've been keeping an eye out anyway. Like I said, nobody else has seen it, so I'm not too terribly worried. Not yet.
David, where did Fort Breaker live in terms of distance from Sten's Gap? Was he like right on the outskirts of it, or did he live in a different, smaller village leading
It's
towards
pretty
it?
close to the outskirts, maybe an hour or two down the river.
Okay.
If you're following the river on foot.
We're heading west. I know that's not a well-traveled place, but I don't know if you know if there's anything that we should watch out for in that direction.
Well, where does people go west? Either can't come back or don't see a reason to turn back. Nobody I know of, or nobody that I've heard of that's gone through the gap in the last several years has bothered to come back through. So I would advise against.
We're pretty determined to go that way.
Well, I don't know how we hear rumors if nobody's come back, but the rumors are that there's all kinds of horrible monsters and disease and thick terrain that, well, it's gotta open up some lore here.
I'm looking at spells for diseases.
And I think you might have heard some of this, Cam, growing up in the area. That, let's see. Where are we here? One moment, please.
I wonder if this will finally be the place where Wade's acid resistance matters.
One can only hope.
Well, the rumors and stories that you hear talk about an area referred to as a laurel hell. It's a thicket of trees so impassable. You know, I heard, again, I don't know where these tales come from because nobody come back out, but heard tales that someone was trying to a man and his dog were trying to walk through a laurel hell, and took them 3 days to get 2 miles. Some say the only ways you can get through it are to crawl across the ground on your belly like a snake, or to put planks down over the top of the bushes and walk across them. And you do need to watch out for those plants. Sometimes we see, sometimes their seeds get over the mountain and start growing up here. They don't usually last long, but every part of the plant is violent. The pollen is toxic. Its flowers fling the pollen at flying insects. The honey is toxic. All parts of it are poisonous to humans and animals alike. But it has the most beautiful flowers. Pink and white blossoms shaped like teacups. Clusters so thick that you'd think from a distance you were looking at a carpet of blossoms.
We should steer clear of those, or have some planks handy.
We just burn them all to the ground.
Good luck.
Would that cause the pollen to get into the air?
I mean,
Well,
if it's hot enough, it might just,
Well, I guess that's one of the nice things about the wood, is it is so dense and so thick, and the places where it grows is so perpetually saturated with water that it doesn't like to burn. But its hardness, its durability, and the twisted masses of branches that it grows into make it an interesting an interesting wood for bowstrings and furniture, or bows and furniture, and all manner of creative thing like that.
I think I'm going to need to really think about the kinds of magic that I have when we go through there.
So you might want to consider purchasing disease or poison resistance potions or something.
Well, I do have some magic that would help us with that sort of thing. I can kind of in the same way that I can create healing magic around me, I can also create an aura that helps us against poison and also helps with a bunch of other things, like being poisoned or paralyzed or frightened or anything like that. But it's pretty high. It takes a lot of resources to do that, and well, I'm a bit worried about if I prepare something like that, but we need something else, like some very powerful healing. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it tonight, I think.
Yeah. Spells aren't really tailored for this.
Well,
I'm sure we'll figure it out. I've been around plenty of dangerous plants in my life.
Well, do stop in if you manage to make it back. That'd be a first.
Perhaps I can even map a safe route for you.
Be interesting to know about. Don't know what use it would be.
Know if there's anyone in town that's has a request for that type of wood?
Oh,
You happen to bring any back?
Me, I have one.
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think who might have a interest in that. You know what? I'll have her roll for it. Oh, nobody that I know, but I imagine any sort of boyer or furniture maker might be interested.
Learas would be interested.
Yeah. Do I know any particularly talented boyer?
I would say probably. I would say that'd be a reasonable thing for you to know about. I don't have an NPC that meets that description handy, but
no worries. It's just I would like to know if I already know someone I could bring some of this wood to and get something made.
Yeah, I'll say there would be somebody in Crystal Harbor that might be interested in making a bow out of an exotic wood. Or at least a wood that's not commonly seen in that area.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I'm definitely going to have to collect some somehow.
You can't just like grab any old plank, right? That's not how bows are
No,
made.
to make a bow properly, you really need to get sort of the heart of the trunk kind of thing. You want the front of the bow to be all the same layer of wood, if you will. It's probably not the correct term, but well, unless we've got any other business, I say we finish our drinks, get some rest, and head off in the morning.
Well, you got a place to stay tonight? You're looking for one.
We were looking to rent a room or something.
Yeah, well, talk to Toman. He can hook you up.
The rooms up here nice?
Yeah, they're pretty nice. Comfortable,
Sounds
dry.
like... Have you had nicer rooms?
And this is a small town.
So there's no luxury hotel hidden away somewhere here?
There's not even one of those in Crystal Harbor.
Yet.
Yeah. We're building one. Well, actually, wait. No, we're not. I don't want it open to the public. Just the
Well,
tavern.
If you do build one, invite me to the grand opening.
Yeah, well, I bought a building and some dock space, and yeah, if it goes well, I might buy another building that maybe we will make into a luxury inn.
Well, if you need any resources, the Stonedivers will dig them up for you.
We probably will need some stone in the near future.
Keep us in mind.
Always. And he clinks his mug against hers, and
Right. And y'all finish your drinks and share a room each.
Oh, that's a good question.
How many rooms do you get?
What is
Why
the
is it
price of the
two?
room?
Inconsequential to your lifestyle expenses.
Also, what's the situation? Is there like rooms with multiple beds as well? Probably dictator answer.
Yeah, so there's like one larger sort of kind of hostel style room with maybe a dozen or so bunk beds, and then apart from that, there are individual rooms with larger, like full size beds in them.
Don't mind paying for a room each.
Yeah.
As long as they have 3.
They do. Looks like they've got about a dozen rooms up here,
All right.
plus the larger area. So there is plenty of accommodation for the 3 of you to get your own room, which is, very affordable. And anything else tonight before y'all get some rest?
Cam spends some time in prayer, kind of sorting out what spells she wants to prepare, and she kind of she sits down in a way that she's kind of facing like south-ish, or like I guess like southeast almost, and she's just like, hey, Dad, I know you said that I don't have to talk to you for my magic, but and I know you're probably really busy because there's a lots of big things happening right now all over the place. But me and my friends are going to check on my mother, which I know you said I didn't really worry about. But I am worrying about it, and I have been worrying about it. But if there's any way that you can, I don't know, give me just the guidance I need to be strong enough to keep everybody safe while we do that, I'll owe you one, or like a dozen or so, if that's what it takes. she's just kind of rambling on very casual as she's interacting through prayers.
Above the table, is there any particular sort of blessing mechanically or something like that Vix is hoping for, or is Cam just chatting with her dad?
Cam is chatting with her dad, and she is going to be preparing some spells that she's never used before, particularly like high level things like freedom of movement possibly, and just like locate creature and things like that. It is in the back of her mind that she knows how to do this sort of thing, but she's never actually put it to any good use before. And after hearing Alexandra tell them how dangerous it was and how difficult it is to move through the bog, she's very aware that these sorts of things might be helpful to her and her friends at the moment.
Make a perception check for me while Cam's praying here.
15.
15. Okay. I'll say on a 15, as you're praying here and requesting, some sort of intervention from Cathmore, even though you're in this room and you're high in the mountains and it's nighttime and the windows are closed, you feel a very gentle, warm afternoon breeze, and hear the distant sound of slowly moving hooves on grass.
I think she smiles to herself a little bit, and she kind of attributes that same feeling to the one that she had in her dream before, when she actually saw this form of him. And she just spends some time in a quiet meditation before she gets up and starts to sort through her things to make sure they're prepared for this journey tomorrow. And it's just quietly to herself, "Thanks, Dad."
And as you open your eye, you put your hands on the ground ready to stand up, you can almost feel the rug in this room feels to you like grass, and you can swear that just for a second as you open your eyes, you're in a little woodland clearing which fades almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Sense that Cathmore is watching.
And I think she's extra appreciative because she knows that he's kind of stretched thin magically at the moment. And so she feels empowered by that. Apart from that, I think she has one more thing she wants to do, but that's in the morning. So if anyone else has something they want to do tonight.
I really don't feel like Learas has much to accomplish at the moment. He probably gets to his room early, closes the door, kneels in the middle of the room, and just kind of polishes these new swords and prepares all his gear and makes sure that everything's in tip-top condition. And he focuses on making sure that he can provide the kind of support that his team needs.
Wade is going to go out of his room, and he's going to walk towards Cam's room. He hears that she's, he hears a voice in the room, so he's going to wait outside, resting against the wall opposite a room, and he's going to absent-mindedly, play around with the ion stone that he purchased earlier. And as soon as he doesn't hear Cam's voice anymore, he's gonna slowly walk over and knock on her door.
It takes only a second before you hear the jingling of her jewelry as she opens the door very quickly, no caution at all, despite all the things that they've been through lately. Oh, hi, Wade.
Hey, I had a quick question for you. How many magic items are you attuned to right now?
Oh, I think I'm, she just kind of pats herself down. I think I'm completely at capacity at the moment.
Okay. I have this one here, and he's going to show her the ion stone.
Oh, what is
In
that?
regards... Go ahead.
What does that do?
This one here can store up to 4 levels of spells. I was just thinking about what you were saying earlier in regards to, if you needed to cast another, large spell or something. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to use it or not.
Well, she kind of looks at the trident that's like leaned against the wall. She's like, maybe that would be better. I only bought that one because I thought we were going to be heading out to, fight more things underwater, and it doesn't look like we're doing that right now. So I could use that because there are things I could help us to ward off any diseases or even detect them. So things like that might be useful.
So go ahead.
You say so the person attuned to the item doesn't have to be the person to put the spell in the item. You just have to be attuned to use it. So if Cam charged it, then you could cast that spell later, Wade.
Oh, I just thought about this. The Ion Stone is attuned to me, but you could charge the Ion Stone with one of your spells.
Oh.
And it would be like if you were casting it through me when I use it.
And it goes to the higher level of magic than that I can use. So
yes, it's as if you were the one casting it.
I can take it from you and put a few spells in it and give it back to you in the morning.
All you have to do is cast the spell and touch the stone, and it's charged.
Oh, I guess it would be best to do it right now because then I could sleep and have more magic. Okay.
And it's 4 cumulative levels of spells, so 1 4th level, 4 firsts, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's what I figured.
8 1/2s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you like some healing magic, or do you want? I could give you a bunch of. I could give you a couple of lower things like curing and detecting, or even purifying food, or I could protect you from evil stuff.
Do you have anything is it poison or disease resistance?
I do. I have protection from poison.
Now, I do know that.
Oh, go ahead.
Poisons are classified differently than diseases.
Yes.
And Alexandra specifically mentioned disease.
Yeah, she did.
Although I don't know if. Do you have anything for diseases?
I do have something. There's so many things here.
I think protection from poison and disease is the same spell.
Protection from poison is just the poison condition. There, I do have.
It's a lesser restoration.
Yes,
right?
that's what I was thinking about. I have that one prepared too. Okay, she's gonna put a lesser restoration inside there, which is level 2, and then she will do a cure wounds. And I think after that she would have to switch out some spells. Though she did just pray, so maybe that's covered.
We can, just kind of be flexible with time here.
Yeah, okay. Detect poison and disease will go in there.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And then we'll do a Let's just do 2 of those.
Thank you.
So she's just pouring all this magic, and she's like, "Oh, I think you'll have this and this," and like just kind of putting them into the and then she goes, "Ah, I kind of feel tired now." That was a really good thought, though, and I think that you having that will be really good for us because you're really good with magic.
So far.
Yeah, but mine just I don't really think about it. It's I feel like you're more thoughtful with the way you use it.
I think we've all found good ways to make use of our abilities.
Well, will really be put to the test, I guess, in the next few days.
Sure. Right. Well, I'll let you get some sleep.
Rest well. Wait. She'll
As well.
close the door. Go to bed.
All right. Night passes. You all get some sleep, and wake up in the morning.
Learas wakes up to a knock at his door.
He answers it in a towel.
There's not even like a bath here. It's just in a towel.
The one room in town with a waterfall.
If there's no towels, he has the sheet tied around his waist.
This is just proving Cam's comment last time correct, and that he cannot resist an opportunity to take his shirt off. Cam is standing there. She's holding the trident in her hand, and she's just like kind of resting on it a little bit. Looks like she's been up for a bit now because she's like her makeup is freshly changed to like the silvery and gold stuff that she bought at Brilliant and Baubles. And she's just like, "See, I told you that you like to do that every single time."
I was asleep. You know, being resistant to the cold means you also tend to be rather warm. So.
But a towel?
Oh, well, I just grabbed what I could to cover myself up to answer the door.
Okay. Anyway, that's not why I'm here. It's just like, did you do this? And she like kind of holds up the staff. It looks a lot cleaner, and Wade maybe mentioned that you had something to do with that.
Yes, yeah. I spent a little time the other night cleaning it up. It looked like it needed some care, and being so familiar with coral and the like, I thought that I could get it nice and shiny for you.
Well, you did, and I appreciate that. You know, you've been really kind to me in these small gestures, and I guess I'm not really used to that from people. And she like kind of tucks a strand of hair behind her ear, and she's just like, "I feel like I've been kind of rude to you since we met, and again, just kind of putting my foot in my mouth a lot, and I hope you know that that's just me being playful, and I don't really mean it."
there may have been a time when I may have been put off by the type of banter we tend to have, but I kind of take it as part of your charm.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because you and Wade have become like really important to me, and now we're going to a very dangerous place, and both of you decided to go so willingly just for me, and I guess I just wanted to make sure that if anything happens that you know that I care about you, and it's not anything personal when I challenge you.
I appreciate you saying that. Of course, you'd never have a hope in hell of defeating me, but...
Well, I think that you're kind of wrong on that front.
We'll have to put it to the test one day.
Oh, we will. Especially after we defeat that creature in the bay. I feel like as soon as we do that, we have to settle it once and for all.
Then it's a date.
She like opens her mouth a little bit. Oh, sure. I think she like plays around a little bit with the locket that she had put the drawing that Learas gave her a while back in, and she's like, I'll let you get dressed and meet you downstairs for breakfast.
Sounds good.
Turns and heads downstairs.
Learas like lingers in the door a little while, watching her leave. Closes the door, gets dressed.
Alrighty. Anything this morning for Wade? Or shall we head out of town?
Wade wants to buy potions. If there are potions to buy.
What kind are you looking for?
Disease resistance or something along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that you would be able to find readily available and without too much searching 2 potions of disease resistance at at Benson's.
How much these go for, Benson?
25 gold each.
5. How long does each one of these last approximately?
Let me look it up. Let's see. So it's not disease resistance, it's cure disease. So it doesn't do anything unless you're already sick.
Which I am.
Also,
Totally sick, bro.
Just drawing
I'll
that
still
real
take
cool
him
F
as-
all over the place.
still take them. Not exactly what I was looking for.
And I think, Theo, that'll work on most diseases. Anything particularly virulent or if any of those magical diseases that you hear about, it might not be quite as effective. I don't think it'll do nothing though.
Magic.
We're just looking at going west and trying to prepare for that journey.
Well, I guess if you're going to go that way, you better, well, hopefully come back. West. Why?
You know how you hear tales about people going out west but not coming back?
Yeah, I always wondered where the tales came from if nobody ever came back.
Well, I mean, you know that someone left, but since they're never back,
I guess that's true.
we're trying to make it so that, you know, that there won't be a tale of this person not coming back. Trying to prevent that tale.
Hey, more power to you. If you got anything else you want to buy before you... I don't want to say not have any use for money anymore, but that's what I'm thinking.
What... Is there anything that comes to your mind that we might need for such a journey?
I wouldn't even know what to tell you. I've never been out there. I hear impenetrable woodland, insects, hostile creatures. You got some disease curing potions. That's good. I got a couple of healing potions in stock as well if you want to up your odds a little bit. Got two standards, 50 gold each. We're got one greater.
4.
300.
Ooh. That's a price.
Hard to come by.
No.
And what's it worth to you if you're dead? Bet it's worth at least 300.
I have healing magic, so does Cam.
200.
Like
you can always use that healing magic for something else. That's how spells work, right?
But what if I bought both the standard and the greater for 250 total?
I think we have a deal.
I'll contribute 10 platinum to that, so 100 gold out of that. Because that's a good buy, Wade. That's a good call.
I like how we went down so fast. He's really looking to make a sale right now.
He probably doesn't have many people with 300 gold walking here very often, right?
Yeah.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Like, adventurers always have to pay more for stuff than people who live in town. They've got the money. People out here working in the mines earning a silver a day.
All right. Well, with that covered, then.
All right.
Should we head on?
Good.
Freshly stocked up with supplies. You head a direction out of town that few people do. West. And Cam, I think bringing some memories for you, because if you wanted to go to the home that you grew up in, you would also head out of town this way. So have some decisions to make on the road until it ends. But it is just about time for our break. So I think that's a good time to take 10, 15 minutes, get some snacks, get some drinks, use the bathroom, but stay tuned to this Twitch channel, and we will be back with more D&D in a little bit. Hello, welcome back. We rejoin our adventurers on the cusp of a decision, I guess, for Cam. It's not base. I'll just say the party doesn't know exactly where they're going. So on that logic, Cam's old home is not necessarily out of the way. It's not straight west of here. Cam, do you do anything with that knowledge?
How far? Like, how far would it take them? I imagine the path doesn't lead to the bog. So, I'm just like trying to gauge time spent on the deviation from course.
Can roll me a survival check, please.
That is a 14.
Okay. So, not necessarily being familiar with the terrain far beyond your house, you would guess that you're probably looking at 2 or 3 days of travel to get through this pass and to get most of the way down the other side of the mountain. Stopping, if you went in a straight line, stopping by your house or the house you grew up in might add a few hours to that.
Okay.
It's kind of pretty on the way, but
Okay.
you don't have to go by it.
Then I guess as they are going, as they're walking, Cam is just like, oh, do you guys think it might be beneficial to stop by my old house in case, maybe there's some sort of clue as to where my mother went, or maybe she came back already. I haven't really tried to talk to her.
If you think that that's a reasonable step to take, then I'm fine with it.
It's only a couple of hours. It would only add a couple hours onto our journey, as opposed to heading into a swamp where we might not come back out of.
Well, that's not that far out, and I have to admit I'm a little curious.
Okay. I think she just realizes, like, oh yeah, this is like she's inviting these two people to see where she grew up and where it wasn't really that pleasant for her to grow up.
Yeah.
So they will head in the direction of her childhood home.
Yeah. So you head west out of town. It's about 3-4 hours from town to the Strata residence. And how's Cam feeling as you get closer?
I think she's remembering, at least on like this particular walk up, that there's the times that she did go down into this town of like Sten's Gap growing up. Those were like the happier days for her. So the walk up is it's a little like bittersweet because she's remembering the last time she came this way, like 2 years ago, where she told her mother that she was like pretty much gone for good, and now here she is. So there's definitely like a mixture of emotions at the moment, both good and bad. But she is enjoying some of the scenery at the moment. She always enjoyed the small wildlife here, and yeah, I don't think she jingles as much as they walk up here. She's just very casual, not in any sort of rush right now.
And it is a very beautiful walk. Ancient trees towering over the little dirt path that leads up to this little remote corner of the mountain and some of the northernmost reaches of the shifting wood out here. Now, after those 3 to 4 hours, you come around a corner on this path, and there is a little house standing in a clearing. And would you like to describe Cam's house or childhood home?
It is pretty small. Like, it's probably, if there's nobody here, then there's also like a small garden, and there's an area, like a little shack where they have kept supplies and stuff. It's mostly made of wood, but there's probably some stone because of the Stonedivers Guild. And it looks like it from the outside that can't be more than a few rooms inside.
Yeah.
And definitely a one-level house, but it looks like self-contained. There's places to like wash your clothes and hang them out to dry. And when she comes into this like little clearing, she kind of looks over at like a little stump where there was logs being cut at one point for firewood. And she's just like, this is very strange being here again. I thought I wasn't going to come back here.
Well, you're coming back on your own terms. That's something.
I suppose.
Are you sad about coming back here?
It's not sad, but like, I almost wish that when I was coming back here that my mom would be here and that I would be like a famous adventurer already by now,
I mean, you are a herald of the storm. We did just save the Hall of Weave from an imposter. We also defeated a sea serpent.
I don't suppose that she would have heard about that, though,
Well, maybe, maybe not. But living out here, does she hear of much?
I suppose not. That was kind of the point of living out here, is that she didn't have to really go into town at all if she didn't desperately need something from them. It was very self-contained. It's why I know how to survive so well.
Learas kind of takes her at the shoulders, like looks at her and says, you don't need to worry about what she thinks of you, all right? The rest of us are very impressed.
Okay. I guess we should go and check inside then. She's going to kind of muster herself, and she's a little bit like, like tugging at clothing and fussing with hair as she approaches the door. She's going to knock at first.
You knock. And, probably as you were expecting on some level, there's no response.
She's going to see if the door is open.
It is shut, but it is unlocked.
Locked. Okay. She opens it, and that causes some like immediate concern to her. She's like, it's unlocked. Like,
Well, she seems to have abandoned this place.
I suppose. She's gonna peek in, and I'm imagining like a little sort of like living room area, kind of similar to Wade's house, where it's like the living room and the kitchen are like one sort of open space, and there's some bedrooms off to the side.
And it's a little bit eerie. All of your mother's things, her little her sculptures that she had made, some of her pieces that she was more proud of, are still displayed on shelves around this room. Various supplies that she would use in her craft sat in their station where they would go. But normally there would be some provisions stored here, sacks of flour and grain and other things ready to be used. None of that is visible. There's always the activity of a small home being lived in, washing that's half done, getting strung up by the fireplace to dry, not there.
She is going to kind of just wander in, not really expecting much. She just opens the doors just to be certain in the other rooms that nobody's here. And she's also just kind of walking and looking at the statues that were worked on, some of them eliciting kind of a frown from her, mostly because none of them were ever something that she shared with Cam. It was always just something she did on her own. And she's just she shakes out of thought and she looks at the others and is just would you be able to look around and see if there's any signs of, I don't know, any reason why she left here?
I'll do my best. Wade, you want to help out with this?
Certainly investigate
Right.
the area.
Yeah, give me some investigation checks, or if you want to try and percept something, tell me what you're looking for.
I'll do perception if that's an option.
It is, but what is it that your fish eyes seek after?
I guess anything that would give me an indication as to where she might have gone, whether it be any sort of maps or any sort of particular, the absence of particular things.
Mm-hmm.
Not entirely sure what I might find, but that's a not terrible 18 for perception.
18 for perception and a 22 on investigation. All right, so I will say between the two of you, Wade, I'll say, Wade, would you take a look around inside or outside?
Wade was planning on taking a look at the inside.
Sounds good. So, Wade, there are a number of, there's a very short hallway and a few doors off of this living room kitchen combo. And you enter into the one nearest to the front door, and Cam, this would be the room this would be your mother's bedroom, essentially. Here you open up into it and see the bed is made, but there is very little sign of clothing or other day-to-day personal effects that have been left behind here. All that's really left behind are lighter, less durable pieces of clothing.
Cam is standing near the doorway. She almost looks like she's uncomfortable to be in this room. She's just letting Wade do whatever he needs to do here. And it's just she really did just leave, didn't she?
Yes, she between packing up the provisions and her more durable clothing, I figured that if she was coming back, she probably would have locked the door.
Yeah, she was very careful. She was a careful woman like that. So I have to agree with you. Hmm.
And what was your perception again, Shanks?
I believe it was
16?
18.
18. And I'll say on an 18, you will notice that the last door at the end of this very short hallway has what you would estimate to be roughly 2 years worth of dust sitting on top of the handle.
Cam, was this one perhaps your room?
Yeah, it was.
He kind of like sticks his finger across the top of the doorknob. Doesn't look like it's been opened in 2 years, at least.
Do you think she left because of me? Or no, that can't be it.
Don't think that you should concern yourself with why, because we won't know unless she tells us.
And even then, you have to question people's motives.
Yeah. You have to take it with a grain of salt.
I think maybe, if I had to guess, I think maybe she felt the weight of your absence. Maybe she didn't want to go into your room.
She didn't really like to do much with me, to be honest. Coming into my room, even when I was here, wasn't a common occurrence.
Perhaps it was no change in behavior at all. May I?
Go ahead, yeah.
Learas is very curiously going into Cam's old bedroom.
Very much not what you would expect from current Cam. Just very standard looking bed, just like gray and brown all over, like no sparkle or no shiny things. Place to keep clothing, and probably don't even really notice things like any much in way of personal effects from her.
And I will say you're also met with the smell of stale air. And even if there was a bunch of shiny, sparkly stuff in here, it again would be difficult to notice under the dust that's accumulated in the time.
I always hated this room.
And
Yeah.
can you tell me more about your mother's sculptures?
Oh. Well, she again just kind of turns her attention to the sculptures that are on display more proudly than the other ones that are like half done.
And there's a
well,
lot that are half done.
Mm-hmm. Well, from what I understand, she used to be quite a talented artist. Very much the type of person you would expect great things from. And then one day that just kind of stopped, and I think she had some sort of condition that caused her to not be able to use her hands so well. And I think she sought out a lot of stuff, from what I understand of some things I've overheard growing up. She kind of lost her spark, though. I've never really seen her passionate about sculpting things growing up. She just kind of gestures to the half-done ones. This is mostly what I saw, and well, I was supposed to be some sort of gift from my father to inspire her, but she didn't find me very inspiring, I don't think.
Are these like wooden sculptures, or are they made with different materials, David?
Well, I'll let Vix answer that one if he has an
Yeah.
answer.
There's like it's kind of a mixture of some things that are wood and some that are like clay. There's probably a lot of clay sort of things here.
I was just wondering, like, given that we have like a dragon statue, if there was possibly any connection there.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to find out anything more here.
I think she's she kind of nods and then she's looking at one of the sculptures up on a shelf, a particularly like beautiful one. It's kind of like abstract humanoid shape, and she's just like, she doesn't look at Learas, but she says kind of quietly, thank you at least for seeing me as something fit to inspire you to draw.
I've been working on that.
She looks over at him now and she's like, well, I appreciate it. It was very special. She's going to like now kind of just move past them and go out of the house.
As you turn to leave, you notice the key to the house hanging by a hook next to the front door.
Oh. I think she's just gonna leave it there.
Okay. You head on outside. Feels good to get a breath of fresh air. It kind of reminds you of, it's reminiscent in some way of the experience you had last night.
Yeah. She did always like being outside better than in that house.
Given where the road was and where we are now, would it be possible for Learas to sort of cut a shortcut back to the road?
In so much as you can even call it a road anymore. Once you get past this place, this is kind of the end of the road, as it were. But yeah, you can cut through the woods back onto the trajectory that you were heading before you broke off.
That's at least the intent. Yeah.
I'd say that's no problem for Learas to determine that direction. You're able to head in head that way. And anything else to do here at Casa Strada before heading into the unknown?
I think Cam just takes out a little like a like one of those like rabbit foot keychain. It's not on a keychain, but it's like a little preserved like rabbit's foot, which is like the only thing that she really kept from her house, and she just kind of like tosses it onto the lawn and leaves.
All right. You do that. And you all head off to the west and towards Marig's Bog. You've got 2 to 3 days of travel ahead of you through unknown terrain purported to be difficult. Who's heading that up?
I'll take the head of this one.
All
Okay.
right. I mean, that's survival check.
Yeah, why not? That is a 21.
21. Yeah, the first day of travel goes pretty smoothly as you climb up the relatively slow slope of the pass that Sten's Gap takes its name from. Really gorgeous, dramatic scenery as you climb higher up. The trees become thinner, and you can really see the mountains going up on either side of you. Still, while thinner, still coated in a light dusting of trees until you get really high up there. As the sun starts to set in front of you, shining directly into your eyes, making for a very pleasant traveling experience. It's probably about time to start looking for some place to spend the night. And I'll say on a 21, easy enough to find a little secluded overhang. The formality of roads is long since behind you. Now there is what you can tell is like remnants of a very, very, very old road that hasn't been serviced in like 50 years, probably, overgrown with small shrubs and grass. The only reason you can tell that it's there at all is because there's no trees growing where there's cobblestones 3 inches under the dirt.
Fair enough.
Anything to do before you take your long rest?
Throw up a tiny hut.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
All right.
Once the hut is up and everything, I think Learas will take first watch, and I think he'll work on his 6th drawing of Cam.
Eventually, it'll get not.
Did I lose my hearing? I think I lost my hearing.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he lost his hearing.
Well, I guess that's like disadvantage on perception checks, right? For
No,
there.
Only-
I'm fine.
Only involving sound.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a sleight of hand because it's the closest thing I have to a drawing skill, and that's going to be a 20.
Nice.
So I think that he
Pretty
gets
good.
a pretty decent sketch of Cam.
The eyes are the right distance apart and the same size.
Yeah, he kind of gets those nice cheekbones of hers, and really embellishes with tiny flecks of silver and whatnot, and kind of draws this radiating aura off of her, and she's smiling bright and swinging her hammer. It is a hammer, right? And when he's done, he's just gonna write at the bottom, "You continue to inspire me," and then just tucks it under her pillow, and then wakes Wade for his watch. If we're doing proper watches, I don't know. We've got the tiny hut, so I don't know if we agreed to actually do watches or.
That'll be up to y'all.
See any issue with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Give me that perception check on your watch.
Perception, that's a 17. Higher than passive.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, your watch goes largely without incident. You can hear woodland creatures moving about, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Cam, do you want to do a watch?
Oh, not really, but I will. She said. Yeah, she'll get up and do her watch.
That perception.
That's probably not great. 13.
13. Yeah. Very similarly to Wade's watch, there's not a whole lot that catches your attention. And just thoughts of the day coming back to you. It's been a while since Cam's been home.
Yeah, she's definitely just distracted, and it's weird not being her like chipper, sunny, bright self. So she's just like not sure what to do with herself. And then she once in a while she's like, "Oh, I should be watching."
But yeah, I think at the end of your watch, it's about time to wake up the rest of the group to start the day, and I think Cam notices a piece of paper sticking out from underneath her pillow at this point.
She goes and packs her things and notices that probably as Learas is like waking up too. So it's probably a little bit awkward.
Awkward timing. It's fine.
She looks at it and she goes, "Oh, wow, you did actually get quite good at it." I didn't want to be rude before, but there was a little bit of proportion differences.
I'm used to just sketching out rough maps, but I've been working on it almost every night.
She goes through a little bit of like range of emotion on that. So like you've been watching me sleep every night, or
I mean, I definitely had to steal a glance here or there to just get everything correct, but
insight check.
yeah, make your insight check against my deception check, I guess. Oh shit, I rolled terribly.
I got a 19.
That definitely passes. Yeah, you can tell he's lying. He's underplaying how much he was watching you.
She doesn't use that information at the moment, but she goes, "Oh, I see then. Well, you could keep doing that if you would like," she says as she tucks the drawing in her bag.
I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, I could probably draw you from memory at this point, but it is pleasant to look at you.
Cam looks at Wade.
We're all in this tiny dome together.
Packing up his things.
Wade's just pretending not to listen in the conversation.
There's like this long sigh.
Well, we should probably head off then. She stands up, and because she like leaves the dome space, it like kind of disappears on them.
You probably should have given Reed time to get his warm stuff on here. But...
Oh, I'm so sorry. I suddenly just felt like in a rush. Are you okay with the cold, Wade?
I don't think it's that cold quite yet.
Okay.
All right, well, westward.
Learas, if you're leading again. Give me that survival check.
Um, yeah.
I'll help with
Unless-
that.
You're gonna help?
Yeah, you can roll, but
Okay.
I'll help you.
Well, that was 22 this time.
I think
22.
Cam is trying to pay attention to everything but Learas at the moment, so she's like helping point things out as they walk.
Yeah. And Cam's vision is quite helpful in this instance. As you sense that you have reached around midday the highest point in this pass, and you notice that generally you start to head downwards, although there are still like little ups and downs. The general trajectory of your path this afternoon is descent. And you can see off in the distance, now that you have crested over the mountain ridge, a thick forest with
Reese's.
and I'll have everybody make perception checks for me from up here.
Why not?
Ooh. I'm gonna use my inspiration for
I
that.
actually have 2, so I'm gonna use one of mine as well.
Oh my god, I rolled just one more higher than that.
Make cosmic happy. I rolled lower, so that's a 19
rolled-
for me.
Yeah, I rolled my passive quite literally.
So 19's the highest.
Sounds like it.
All right.
I got a 9. Shanks, did you use both of your inspiration now?
No,
or-
I've only used one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to make cosmic happy, but I had to.
Yeah, so I will say on a 19, it's hard to make out too many specific details from here, but off in the distance, past the base of the mountain, you can barely make out a few right angles amongst the trees. And that kind of catches your attention because that's not, nature doesn't do 90 degrees most of the time. And when you focus in on it, you can actually see a few of them. It looks like off in the distance, maybe about a day and a half away, there is a tiny village, no more than 30 or 40 buildings.
In the forest or in the swamp?
It looks like a little clearing. It's a swampy forest.
I see.
Yeah. Kind of on the outskirts of it where the mountain transitions into muck.
Well, there's a forest. There's a village out there in the swamp somewhere. Kind of points it out.
Isn't that a bit odd?
It's a lot odd.
Do we steer clear of that, or do we check it out?
Oh, I'm far too curious to steer clear of it.
I mean, we're trying to find someone, right? People.
There's
That's
a
fair.
good chance she passed through there. Or is living there now. Who knows?
That would be very strange. I think it dawns on Cam that she might see her mom. She's like, "Oh, we're looking for my mom, but I might find her." And she's just like, "Oh, yes, let's go and check that out, I suppose."
Yeah. Well, we're gonna continue on in the direction of that village.
Right. And you do so. As the afternoon progresses on, you descend further and further down the mountain, and you can feel the air still cold because it is the fall, but getting warmer a little bit as you descend, but also getting much, much damper. And as the night starts to fall, a thick fog rolls in low on the mountains. making it difficult to see more than 30 or 40 feet in front of you.
I think we'll continue on as far as we can, trying to keep the direction.
Stay close, I think. Don't want to get
Yeah.
lost.
We don't want to get separated in this fog.
You've got a few hours yet before it's pitch black outside. Keep pressing on?
Yeah, I think if we can get out of the fog before nightfall, that'd be ideal. And if not, then we'll just tiny hut for the night
Right.
and do what we got to do.
I might have you another survival check for me with disadvantage.
Destroy
Ooh.
water.
You can see 70 feet in front of you very well. If Cam's helping, it can be a straight roll.
Yeah, I will.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 regardless.
Okay.
So that's going to be, even if we go with the 2, which I rolled first, that's going to make it an 8.
Amazing. Yeah. You keep going on, and you can tell, you're still heading down. Best as you can tell, you're still heading west. But the light leaves you before the fog does. And it's to the point where it's kind of hard. It would be difficult to see anything more than 15 feet away from you with any clarity.
Well, we're in thick fog and it's gotten dark. I think we're just chancing walking off a cliff if we continue on at this point.
That's fair. We should be careful. We've been warned many, many times that people don't come back from here, and there's all sorts of dangerous creatures, so...
Maybe we'll get lucky, and the main reason people don't come back is because that swamp village is the greatest place ever.
Maybe. I do want to think that is true.
Well, I think it's time for another hut.
Yeah, she'll ritual cast Lehman's tiny hut again. She sets it to like a dim light at first and then kind of turns it down like a dimmer.
Mood lighting. Right, yeah. Doing watches again?
Is there a fucking point? We won't
That's
see
a
anything
great
until it collides with the
question.
dome anyway.
That's a great question. Yeah, that's up to you, whether or not you want someone awake at all hours, or if you're like, can't see shit, man, might as well sleep.
Before we go to bed, Wade is going to cast Destroy Water 3 more times.
So we've got like this triangle of views we can look at.
For a little while. And until a breeze comes through and moves and stirs the fog up.
That's a good point.
Eventually it will eventually refill the space.
Well, I'm willing to take a watch if we want to, just in case.
Yeah.
At the very least, someone to wake us up if they hear something.
Which, this is going to be purely a sound-based perception check. But if you would roll that check for me, please.
Who's doing first watch tonight?
We could just keep the same order, I think. Go Learas, Wade, Cam. Or actually, maybe Cam will go second because she does have the better vision out of everyone. Not that it matters right now.
Well, sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. That's what I thought. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to do my perception check with just sound And that's going to be 26.
26.
Yeah.
The sounds of this part of the world are a little bit different than what you're used to. There are, different birds on the side of the mountain, proving a large obstacle. Different small woodland creatures. Squirrels over here are not gray; they're black, for instance. So it's a little bit strange for Learas, and he doesn't hear anything particularly out of the ordinary, but you just cannot shake the feeling that you're being watched.
Eerie. Okay. The fact that I hear birds and squirrels is generally a good sign, but the feeling of being watched, and Learas is pretty perceptive, that's not great. Right at the end of his watch, before waking Cam. Actually, after waking Cam, I think. I'm gonna wake Cam first.
Oh, is it my turn already?
Yeah, unfortunately, and I've got just the strangest feeling that we're being watched, and the last time that happened, something kind of fucked my head up. So
yeah, that was not nice.
Cam, it hits you too. Even though you're inside the dome right now, you feel eyes on the back of your neck.
I'm going to do something that might reveal anyone around, or might just allow you at least a better view for your watch for a little bit.
Oh?
I'm going to clear out some of this fog.
Okay.
And so Learas is going to exit the dome, go about like 5-10 feet out, and I'm going to cast Gust of Wind, and then kind of circle the area over the course of the next minute, and just kind of clear out this like 60-foot circle.
Yeah, you're able to do that, and now that some of this fog has been blasted away, at least for a distance, all that you hear when you release this torrent of wind is that wind. There's no, it rustles the trees, blows leaves off the ground, but it doesn't seem to disturb any creatures or anything that might be observing within that radius.
When Learas has done that and he comes back, Cam is just like, nobody is supposed to be able to see into here, and I still feel like I'm being watched.
Do you think someone's using detection magic on us?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, be careful, keep your wits about you, and wake us if anything happens.
Gives a nod and kind of sets herself up to be on a bit of a swivel.
Sounds good. Give me that perception check, Cam.
For frig's sakes, Cam. 14.
Yeah. Not much of note other than just the pervasive feeling of being under observation over maybe, this is up to you how Cam feels about this, but maybe a little bit claustrophobic over the next hour. The fog that Learas had blown away slowly comes back in, even with your crazy dark vision. And every time you look in a direction, the amount of detail you can make out is just stops that much closer.
Yeah, it's like a weird feeling for her when she's usually able to see so freaking far. She's just like, is this what some other people are like? She doesn't like it. She eventually does wake up Wade, and she's like, Wade, there's Learas and I both felt like we were being watched throughout our watches. We haven't seen anything though. She kind of gestures to all the fog that has returned now.
Is it reminiscent of when we were trekking down Alvitende?
In the sense that, the feeling of being watched is similar. It's kind of hard to say with the fog for sure, but there is no sudden orb of unlight that anybody spots at any point that creature was hanging out in, that was watching you.
Okay, well, I don't have no gust of wind and clear out all this fog. I could just expend all my spell slots to destroy water. Just perception.
Yes, please. And that feeling of being watched joins you as well as you start your watch.
17.
17. Yeah. Apart from the fog, every physical thing about the environment is extremely similar to last night. There's creatures moving around, small, woodland creatures that you would expect, an occasional call of a nocturnal bird. You just can't see 15 feet beyond the edge of the dome. But eventually, at some point, you start to notice the darkness letting up as some sunlight trickles in through the fog, which seems to have parked itself here.
It's lighter out, but there's still fog.
It's lighter out, but at least as of yet, the sun is not really doing a lot to burn it off.
And for a fireball.
We are on day 3 of travel greets you, largely without incident, but as the rest of you wake up, one of the first things you feel in the morning is that sense of being under observation.
Well, not much we can do about that, I suppose. We'll continue on and, be alert.
Yeah.
Westward, as best we can tell through the fog.
All right. Another survival check for me, and that would be with disadvantage.
Cam, why don't you take the lead on this one? I'm going to keep an eye out for danger.
Okay.
So that would just be a straight roll for Cam with Learas' assistance.
Are you rolling something else?
No, I'm rolling perception to keep an eye out for danger. I'm letting her take the survival check completely.
Then that will be with disadvantage, please, Cam.
I rolled well. 22.
With disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled 16 and 14.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I will say, at some point towards the afternoon, the fog starts to light up a little bit. But actually, Shanks, you were rolling perception. Let's address that first. First.
Is that with disadvantage also?
Depends on what you're looking. Visual things, yes. So I'll just make things to see harder. So let's just roll this straight, because hearing things would not be at disadvantage.
Then I rolled a 10. It's which is my passive, which is 19. So not bad.
Okay. Yeah. So Cam, you catch a break in the fog for a short time in the afternoon, and you realize that you no longer have line of sight on this village from where you are. And if you were traveling on course yesterday, you would expect to maybe be able to see it or to be there by this point, based on how far away it is. So you are fairly confident that you have gotten off track at some point from this destination of yours.
Oh, oh no. I think we lost our ways at some point. I don't see the village anymore.
Are we near like what terrain are we in? Are we in the fog or in the foresty, swampy area yet? Are we approaching it?
It is, you are in the slow transition period between mountain and thick swamp. So the trees have gotten more dense. The ground has gotten, like, the soil has gotten thicker. The ground has gotten softer. You can feel the humidity in the air, but you're not wading through. You know, it's not a wetland yet, but you can tell you're not too far away from one. And with a 19, I'm gonna say, as you progress through the afternoon and get deeper into the forest, it starts to get darker, even though it is not night yet. With a 19, you see a small light off in the distance. Looks like it couldn't be too much brighter than a lantern.
Well, I see a light ahead. Maybe one of the villagers? We might not be that far off.
Did we call out to them?
Maybe we should approach cautiously.
Oh, okay. You might want to take the lead on that.
That's a good idea. Learas is going to try to move ahead of the group, maybe 30, 40 feet ahead of them, and sneak up to approach this light.
At a distance of 30 to 40 feet, you can only see the outline of Learas in this fog. You'd be considered partially obscured. But roll stealth for me, Learas.
Yes, sir. Will do. I'm going to use my last inspiration to make everyone happy. That's a 21.
Nice.
Good use.
You are pretty well hidden, and we have a map.
Oh. Why? For a friendly village acquaintance welcome party?
Indeed.
Surely he built this map just because Dungeon Alchemist is so easy to use. And
it was so easy to use. This map only took me like 15 minutes to make.
Plus the 5 when I was, thinking.
Oh, that was the other map that was a lot bigger.
Yeah, this one's not big enough for that.
Yeah. This one's just 40 by 40, I think. The other one was like 60 by 45, I think.
I've had to reduce down to 69 to 45.
Nice.
There is a freaking building here. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's your mother's new house.
Yeah, maybe.
So, Learas, you go about 30 to 40 feet ahead of the group to investigate this source of light, and there is a single story structure out here. It looks like a small shack that is pretty tumble down. Like, most of the windows are broken. It's missing some shingles. It does have a pretty high ceiling and a pretty steeply pointed roof. It looks like maybe there could be a loft up there or something, a story and a half. But you do see some light coming out of the windows on this side of the building. There's one lower down and then two kind of higher up in this roof area that you can see. And yeah.
Well, for like the fourth time in this campaign, I'm going to approach this weird building and peek in the window and see if I can figure out who's in there.
Sure. Move up to where you're gonna be.
Well, I would like to. Is this a window? Are those dark spots windows?
Yes, those are windows.
Yeah, I'm just gonna approach up to there and kind of put his back to the wall and then kind of peer through.
Fabulous. Could you make a charisma saving throw for me, please?
The fuck?
Oh my god. What?
And I just used my inspiration. That's a natural 1.
Amazing. Cam, Wade.
Thanks, Cosmic. No, I'm kidding.
Learas isn't there anymore.
What happened? It's still foggy, or is it clear now?
It's still pretty foggy through here.
Maybe we just lost him in the fog. Did he go inside?
I don't know.
Um,
Can we make out the lights from here?
Yes, you can make out the lights and the outline of this structure quite readily from this distance.
Wait, she's going to like touch Wade on the shoulder. Just in case, we should really be on guard, and she's going to give you her vigilant blessing so that you have advantage on your next initiative roll. And then she will also cast guidance on him as they move up closer.
Great. Yeah, move up how close you want to get.
She's looking around for Learas, so I think they get pretty close.
All right. And I think at about that point, I'm going to need everybody here to do me an initiative.
Oh. Boy.
So it's 13 with the advantage.
20.
11.
11. And
Different music, I'm guessing.
probably. And it gets a 19.
It. That means I go first.
It does mean you go first. And we're going to go ahead and reveal this map here. Where's the eraser? There it is.
Are you attacking us with a house?
Yes, I am.
No! Why? Why would you do that to me? I'm having a West flashback.
I feel like the secret code to this campaign is it's reflavoring everything I've done.
How the fuck do you like it?
I wasn't there for that.
Oh boy. This is awesome though. Am I inside it?
House.
Yes, you are.
How did that happen?
You failed your charisma saving throw. Which it is your turn now. You suddenly find yourself inside of this structure, I think. You can see windows around you, but there's nothing outside. There are cracks in the wall and holes in the ceiling, but it's just kind of a black fog outside of it, and you can hear some rumbling starting to happen.
Can I try to escape?
You can. How would you like to do that?
I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. Do I get the sense that the house is like that this is a sentient thing that I'm inside? Like, or
Make an insight check.
Insight check the house.
that is an 18.
There is an oppressive presence here. And I think I'll say this, on an 18, you're in kind of like a little food preparation kitchen-y area right now. There's a hearth on the wall towards the top of the map, a couple of doors towards the bottom of this wall, and there is a little table in the top left corner with a rusty old knife on it, and that knife is like shaking and vibrating and starting to move towards the edge of the table.
The windows are still in the same places. Like, I can see outside, but you said it's like a black fog.
You can
outside?
see the windows, but you cannot see outside.
I'm going to draw my swords and try to cut my way through the window, see what happens.
Nice. Yeah, make an attack roll for me at the window.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah.
Hits.
Yeah, I suspect so.
Do some damage.
Yeah, okay. I don't suppose I get sneak attack on this, but
I'm gonna say no.
that's fair.
It knows you're inside of it.
So that's going to be a 15.
15 damage. Yeah, you raise your sword up and just slash through this window, shattering what's left of the glass and splintering the wood holding it together.
Then nothing else happens.
I mean that happens, and there appears to be a hole in the side of the building, but it's just this inky blackness outside.
And then the structure doesn't seem to respond to that at all.
Not in this moment.
I'm going to move outside through the hole.
As you attempt to do so, you find that you can't move Learas' token. There we go.
Oh no, my token.
I was having a little difficulty there. You find that there is some force stopping you.
Okay, well, since I appear to be stuck inside here, at least for the time being, I will use my bonus action to cast Barkskin and get those temporary hit points going. And then I will use what movement I have left. This is a door to my south, right?
Yes.
I'm going to try to pass through that door into the next room.
You do so. I'll get that token out of the way so you can see this room. There's more broken furniture in here and a couple of doors to the west.
All right. I'll just, what was that? 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, I'm going to move to there for now, and that's my turn, I guess.
Fabulous. It's now the house's turn. Perfect. Cam and Wade, can you both make charisma saving throws for me, please?
I can. Do I want to?
You have guidance.
You can choose to fail.
What is a 16 enough
God.
to not need guidance?
Let me see. No. You would want the guidance on that, I think.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that an 8 doesn't pass.
8 does not pass.
Is that D4 or D6 for guidance?
D4 for guidance.
Oh wait, I have inspiration.
Is 17 enough?
A 17 does save.
Oh,
Oh shit!
thankfully, that
No.
guidance wasn't enough.
I used my inspiration. It wasn't enough, though.
So you see next to you, Cam disappears. Wade, Cam, you find yourself in an empty room. All of a sudden.
What just happened?
And
I'm over here.
at this, when you appear, you hear a rumbling. This rumbling that Learas was hearing continues, and the hearth on the north side of the room pulls away from the wall and comes toward you. And this table here sort of gets up, almost like some sort of fucked up horse, and tries to slam you, Learas. So let's see. That is going to be Cam. It's going to be that's a good roll. That was a 22 to hit.
That hits.
Take 12 points of bludgeoning damage, please, Cam.
Alrighty.
As this stove pulls itself off the wall and just like opens its fire door into your knees.
What? The house is attacking me.
And as you hear that, this table just sort of jumps up off the floor and sends... Man, this thing can roll good. That's going to be 26 to hit on Learas.
What the fuck?
Rolled really well. But not so great for the damage. Well, that's about the same. 12 points of bludgeoning damage for you, Learas.
Little shit.
As furniture starts to form like a little maelstrom in this room and start coming for both of you.
As it collides with Learas, all these colorful scales just break off of his body and scatter about the room like Sonic's rings.
You gotta go pick those up.
Well, that's the great part. I just regrow them, actually.
But on that,
You're
it is Wade's
blinking.
turn. It is Wade's turn. And I think you can hear some commotion inside of this structure.
Well, I will cast Mage Armor.
What? You gotta do that at the start of the day, man.
If we can just assume that Wade does that every morning, if you would like to.
Yeah.
Especially if you're adventuring.
Assuming
you're
Wade
already in there. I can't see the mage armor. I'm done.
I'm just gonna go. The adventure's over. We're just calling it.
They're gone. Lost cause.
That's why no one comes back. Leaves.
Can I insight? I have no idea what's going on.
I'd say you can hear muffled voices coming from inside the house. I don't think, Wade's a pretty smart cookie. I don't think it would be too much for him to put together that maybe his friends are inside. But if there's something else you would like to insight.
Well, I don't know that the house is evil.
Yeah, I'll make a insight check for me, and I'll give you advantage on this because of the circumstances.
So that's 2 11s in a row. That's
nice.
Great. Passive is 16. If we want to go with that.
I would say with a 16, I think you see, you now that you have gotten a little bit closer have noticed that the 2 windows in the upper portion of this structure, the way that the wood and the glass is broken in them remind you of an iris or a pupil, and it looks like that little piece of wood that would be making up the window is tracking you like eyes would.
I don't know, man. Just
the house is
Fireball's probably Fireball's probably not the best way to go about it.
The house.
Yeah, fireball it.
I know, but I don't know where my friends are.
I mean, we'd be on
And if I
total
hear it
cover
coming-
from where you're casting the fireball.
It's true.
I don't know where my friends are. I don't want to burn them up. No.
That's totally fair.
Glory-
That is a fair
glorious
call.
days. Storm Sphere is my new spell. I'm just gonna cast Chromatic Orb
Nice.
until I know where people are at. Roll to
Such
hit.
a weird segue. Storm Sphere is my new spell. I'm going to cast
Well, it affects other people near it, and I didn't.
Mm,
I don't know where it's going. So, okay.
yeah.
Roll to hit. 20 is hopefully enough to hit.
The 20 does hit.
I accidentally rolled this for 4th level, so we're going to go with that. 21 fire damage.
Sure. Yeah. 21. Yeah, that's a nice big chunk of fire damage. As I think you can hear something, the folks inside can hear something impact the exterior of the structure, and you can see some of the walls kind of shake a little bit.
The turns I hide behind this tree here. Not hide,
Okay.
but like, take shelter behind it.
Sounds good. And then we are on to Cam.
Cam is like, does it a little bit disoriented, realizing that she's inside this house and she doesn't remember how she got here, and she can hear that Learas is in the next room and is being attacked by a fireplace or something. And she's just like, oh no, okay, all right. And she just she grabs her weapon, and she kind of like, her head just kind of like tilts back suddenly, and her eyes start to glow, and these wings sprout out of her back as she uses her radiant soul. And then, as a bonus action, she is going to summon her spiritual weapon at 3rd level. Yeah, at 3rd level. And make an attack. Hopefully, it hits. That is a 17, and she's trying to attack the fireplace thing.
So a 17, you swing you have your spiritual weapon swing down and clobber into the side of the fireplace. And it makes good contact, but it looks like it mostly bounces off.
Okay, she says. She seems like a little bit concerned about that, but she kind of focuses in on herself, and you can see that this radiant, like silver gold energy is starting to pour into her warhammer, but that is the end of her turn.
That's good, and we're back to the top of the round with Learas. As you have been beset upon by a table with murderous intent.
Well, Learas is going to attempt to knock the top down off this tabletop, and that's going to be a... no, I don't suspect I can do that. That's fine. So that's a 26 or something to hit.
Yeah, that'll
27
hit.
to hit.
That'll hit. And let me double check something.
Okay.
It's not immune to sneak attack, and you do have an ally within 5 feet of it.
I do?
Also,
Yes.
can I retcon something? I'm gonna use a 4th level spell slot because I forgot that spiritual weapon is stupid again.
No problem. The con has been retted.
Who's my ally within 5 feet of it?
Cam.
She's not.
She's within 5 feet of what you're fighting. If you would like to use sneak attack.
Oh, I see what you're going for.
It's
Okay.
an extension
yeah.
of the house.
Neat. Actually, before I resolve that, bonus action Hunter's Mark.
You got it.
And then, so that's going to be my
It is
magic.
missing hit points.
Yes. Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, because she's damaged the hair. Got it. Fuck yeah. All right. So, magic short sword, Hunter's Mark, sneak attack, Hunter's Prey.
How many dice are you rolling?
4.
Nice.
So that's going to be plus 6, so that's 19 piercing damage with my first hit.
Very nice. Yeah, you
And then,
take a chunk out of this table.
and then he's going to follow up with a couple more slashes. That's going to be an 18 to hit.
18 does not quite get the job done.
Holy shit, for real?
Whoa! Oh
Close.
no!
And then that one's lower than that. So that's the only attack. It was a good one, but
It's a good
only
one.
one of the 3 landed. So yeah, he just like rips out a chunk of this table and then can't seem to find purchase against
I
it.
mean, you're hitting it, but you don't get the sense that it's like doing any actual damage to it. You can contact the table.
That's my. Actually, I'm going to kind of circle around it a little bit to kind of get a glance on Cam and make sure she's okay through the door.
You gotcha. Or you got it. The house's turn.
It doesn't seem like it's getting hurt by my attacks.
Your magic attacks or your regular ones?
My magic ones.
Oh, that's concerning. Mine seemed, at least the first one seemed to do something.
Wait, if I could have another charisma saving throw from you, please.
Oh, no. Well, I can't guarantee I'll roll as well as I did last time. That is a 6.
That does not get the job done. Wade, you feel yourself get pulled inside of this house.
I mean, if the house wants to catch on fire, that's one way to do it.
And on that, this broom in the corner starts rattling and shakes and flies off at you like a spear.
Nice of you to join us, Wade.
Ooh,
So-
that's not a very... Oh, well, it's got a good modifier. 16 to hit?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
We got major.
Anything you want to do about that?
I suppose I could cast shield.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll do it. I guess.
All right. Yeah, this broom just gathers over your arcane shield.
Could I? Would silvery barbs work?
It would get a chance to re-roll. You could do that. I don't know how much difference it would make.
I don't know. I'll just do that instead.
It's higher.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just give Learas advantage.
Thank
It'll probably be
you.
worth more.
Yeah.
That was a big roll. Please take
Nice.
19 points of piercing damage as this broom javelins itself into you.
I mean, if it wants to catch on fire, that's fine.
And Cam, that knife that was rattling flies off of the table, and
Seriously, now you're trying to stab Cam too? Like, what is?
Yeah. But that's going to be a natural 1, so it just flies right past you and embeds itself in the wall over here.
Okay, watch out for flying knives.
Oh, right. I should have warned you about that.
But Wade, we are on to you.
It's my turn. Do storm sphere centered on the broom.
Fabulous. As you start to cast this magic, could you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
They don't like me. Oh, of course they would just go. It's a 7 instead of.
Oh boy.
As you start to conjure up this energy, you feel a force just disrupt it out of your hands, as the spirit haunting this place has done some form of counterspelling.
What the fuck?
Can I retcon with advantage?
Sure. Since you've got one, I'll let you use it.
Cat is
Oh, when it finally
fine.
hit the. Okay, that's 15 this time. I don't know if that's any better.
The DC was 16 for this.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna cast Fireball over and over and over again because I am very upset.
I mean, you're using its resources and reaction to do so not a bad strat.
Like, all right, well, you want to catch on fire?
That might be dangerous for us while we're trapped inside here. We are trapped inside, by the way. We can't get out.
I know.
Okay.
All right, but then that would bring us to Cam's turn.
Woohoo. So I got the impression that I hit the thing, but it didn't seem to affect it.
No, that was me just trying to flavor it.
Okay.
You did not meet its armor class
Okay.
for a spiritual weapon.
Alrighty. So she did her radiant soul. Magic started channeling into her actual weapon as well. And I'm going to again try to strike it with my spiritual weapon for a natural 1. So use my advantage since chat is constantly reminding us that
Calling us out
exists.
every single round.
And then roll a fucking probably not enough 14.
Just above the table here, the number you want is a 19 if you're making a
Okay.
physical
Gosh,
attack
man.
on this
Come
creature.
on.
That's almost my armor class, which is
Let's
ridiculous.
How do you like it?
I think this
You
one's
hit me every round of combat. You swung at me.
I missed once.
okay. That one. Where the heck is my Warhammer? That's a 22 to hit,
That will do it.
Nice.
and
Smash your brick out of it.
yes, I just need to do some math here. That's a D8. And this is also a D. No, that's a D10. Which I don't have, so I'll just use that. Sorry. Radiant Soul, 8 damage, and then she also has a new thing called Divine Strike, which is a D8. So that's 12 damage, and then I'm gonna roll my actual Warhammer damage, which
Stacking
is
dice.
14. So
Woo!
14 plus 12, 26 damage as she comes down, and this burst of like radiant energy just envelops the room for just a moment and then comes back into her weapon.
Yeah, this burst of radiant energy vaporizes most of the knife that's embedded itself in the wall. And as you swing down, you collide with the door on this hearth that had slammed into your knees, and just hear it clang. As you hit it so hard, you shatter the hinges of the fire door and send it flying across the room.
Yep, that's the end of her turn. Also, thank you, Cosmic, for constantly giving us advantage.
Gotta make those things more expensive.
I'd also like to point out, David, you do have one too as well.
And I would like to point out that I have not used it yet. You're welcome.
Okay.
You
I
haven't
did
needed it yet.
notice that, but I had forgot on that natural one. Counterspelling house. Nice. So that's Cam's turn. We're back up to Learas.
I mean, I've just realized something, but I'm not going to point it out. It's fine. Nothing. Learas is going to attack this fucking table again. I mean, I guess he's attacking the house, really, but that's a nat 20.
That'll hit.
That's my
Girls.
second one.
That's
Girls,
pretty
don't
dope.
worry.
I'm also... for fuck's sake.
The camera could tell you were getting excited.
Cat's blur.
And so that's going to be with sneak attack and hunter's mark and hunter's prey, and my magic sword. So I'm going to be rolling 8 dice this time. So that's okay. 15. Holy shit. 25, 30, 36 plus 6.
Woo!
42 piercing damage on my first strike.
How would you like to obliterate this table?
Yeah, he kind of like he's fending it off a little bit, and then he sees this opening and he strikes upward a little bit to get it up off the ground to touch, and as he draws back he swings forward with both blades and just splits it right down the middle. Wood splinters all off into the walls.
Yeah, and there is just a broken heap of furniture left there.
But the other like animated pieces in the house are still moving.
Oh, very much so.
I see. So it's almost like Hydra heads. Like you can. All right. I can see that. Cam's got 2 on her, but Wade's also not good in melee.
Mhm.
Actually, I mean, Cam, are you okay?
I'm doing my best. She doesn't really look that hurt, but she's taken a hit.
Wade looks like he might be in trouble, and he's going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 over and try to do the same thing to this stupid fucking broom. And that is going to be a 20 to hit.
That'll do it.
I can't do Hunter's Prey. I can't do Sneak Attack. I can do everything else.
No, you have hunters marked this house.
Yeah, I can't do Hunter's Prey or Sneak Attacks, what I said.
Okay. Oh, because
Yeah.
you used them on the previous hit.
Yes, yeah,
I got
1
you.
per turn. Yeah.
I got
8 plus 6, so 14.
Yeah.
And then attack number 3.
Carry this broom.
A duel.
What the heck? I'll use that last inspiration B-Town gave me. And that makes it 23 to hit.
That'll do it.
And max damage for
Nice.
12 plus 6, 18 more piercing.
Very nice. Yeah, you slash at this broom with your swords and whittle down most of the. You cut off most of the bristles, and it's just sort of this stick floating in the air with a small bundle of reeds at the base now.
I got you, Wade. Don't worry.
Anything else from Learas?
Not so many things I did. I'm good.
Yeah. It is the house's turn. You hear what almost sounds like a swarm of insects as just dozens and dozens of books in a cloud come pouring out of that room to the north.
You're using Wade's favorite thing against him.
And
Power of knowledge.
you've been causing it the most trouble, Learas. It is going to attack you, and I'm going to say that it gets flanking on this.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair.
But it doesn't even need it, because that's like 27 to hit.
Of course it is. You've never rolled below a 20 to hit me, so...
Well, if I rolled below a 20 to hit you, I wouldn't hit you.
Exactly. Do it once in a while.
It's 17 points of book damage as they.
I'm immune to book damage.
I never learned how to read. But no, that would be bludgeoning damage for you. And Cam, this table that's leaning up against the wall behind you all of a sudden starts moving and tries to sandwich you between it and the fireplace.
I don't like that.
As it just... Ooh, that's not going to hit. I'm going to use my advantage. That'll hit.
That's Chat's fault. This is your doing.
That was a pretty
Wait.
low damage roll.
I changed my mind. Fireball it.
It'd be 9 points of bludgeoning damage as this table tries to wedge you between it and the stove.
9?
9.
Okay. 9.
Let's see. Object slam, and nobody's outside. Cool. Yep, that is going to be the house's turn. And then Wade, you are up.
Hopefully, it's not going to counterspell again, because I will burn it. I will burn myself alive in this house if it comes to that. I'm as much as I would love to cast Fireball. I am going to cast Slow for a Wisdom save of 16.
Interesting. Wisdom, you say? That's got a good save modifier, but it rolled pretty low. Does a 16 get the job done?
That's exactly what it needed. Yes, of course it does. Very upset.
Dang.
Yeah, 16's the max he could have at this stage without magical assistance.
I wasn't keeping track.
Took away my spell that could have given me a bonus action too.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, well, next turn, fireballs, sorry. Maybe,
okay.
maybe.
I appreciate you trying.
But then, unless anything else from Wade, movement or a bonus action, we are on to Cam.
Cam is feeling a little bit crowded in here, so she is going to just erupt with unicorn.
That's a wisdom save?
Yes, DC 16.
Okay, let's see if it can fail this one for you. Oh, 14.
All right, that is 13 radiant damage as all of these unicorns just start tearing through the various household items that are now surrounding her.
Just hear boom, 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 as little tiny unicorns start punching holes in the top of this table.
And then she is going to bonus action her spiritual weapon. Is looking pretty good for a hit. 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Which is not great rolls here. A 2, 2, and a 1. That's 5. But she is going to add her her radiant damage from both her Asimar abilities and also her So that's 5 plus 8, so 13 radiant damage.
Very nice. Even on a bad roll, that's still pretty good damage.
Oh, sorry, plus 5.
It's even better.
Add 5 to that.
5 has been added.
And then she's going to call out, are we doing anything to this house? Are we supposed to be trying to leave?
I tried to leave already. I couldn't, so now we're fighting.
Okay.
And then it is on to you, Learas, to resume fighting the house.
All right, I'm going to resume fighting this fucking animated broomstick. That's a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And that's going to be 17 more damage.
Very nice. How would you like to sweep this? Just the broom.
Yeah, he's swinging at it, and it's sort of like parrying back and forth. But he's been subtly leading it into a place where it exposes like the exact midpoint in the shaft. He just cuts right through it. And for the record, I only used Hunter's Mark on that one because I suspected it was low. So he's going to then turn around to this swarm of fucking books coming at him. And that's a 2, and I don't have any more inspiration. So
that is not going to quite get it done.
But my third attack is a 23. So,
there you go.
And that will include Hunter's Spray and Sneak Attack. No. Yeah, because everyone's technically within 5 feet of everything, right? Okay. That's going to be less damage than my last attack. 6, 10 plus 6, so 16 total.
16. All right. I'm going to say, I think the energy in the room shifts to, it's still oppressive, but it becomes, almost, there's an air of rage in the air now.
I think as like Learas removes the mop from the situation, then attacks at these brooms or these books rather, I think he's going to kind of shove Wade a little bit and just be like, "Go help Cam."
And then when you do that, you hear the sound of explosion and things falling as this table just rams through the wall.
It needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yes, it does. Actually, that's interesting. Because how's that worded? When a creature starts its turn in your space, right? Or in the area?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Wisdom saving throw. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. That's a 5 on the die.
So a bunch of unicorns just like charge through it horn first, and it takes 19 radiant damage.
Nice.
Good radiant damage.
As this table then does get pretty badly battered by these unicorns, it's looking extremely rickety as it shoves its way through the wall and tries to slam itself into Learas and Wade.
Does Cam also get an opportunity attack?
Unfortunately not, since the whole house is the creature that you're inside of. It didn't actually leave its space.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's like, how did the mechanics work for this fight? So that's going to be a 22 to hit on Learas. And that's a 19 on the die for Wade, so that's going to get both of you.
Damn.
Shield.
So that's going to bring it up to 28, then, is the total to hit on you.
Cool.
For shield?
It was a 19 on the die, plus 8.
Okay, he did say
or plus 9.
Okay, I thought you rolled. Okay, I won't cast shield.
Okay. Yeah. So for Learas, that is okay. Let's see how you're doing. That's going to be max damage.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So it's going to be 23 points of bludgeoning damage for you.
Okay.
How are you looking?
I'm okay.
And 12 for Wade. And
I
that's
am
going to bring
reducing
us
that
to
damage each round, so
that's going to bring us to Wade's turn.
High wisdom save, high AC, counterspelling.
If you would like, you can make an insight check or a perception check to try and divine try to, based on your observations, to determine what it might not be good at.
Insight, sure.
oh
That's
shit.
a 1 on the die, so Wade is too pissed off to think coherently. The only thing on his mind is knowing that if he does cast Fireball, we're all probably going to burn and die, and as much as he wants to cast it. I'm going to cast Tasha's Mind Whip for an intelligence save of 16.
This is the smartest fucking house you've ever met.
Great.
This house went to Yale.
11 psychic damage. It cannot take a reaction until the end of its next turn. And on its next turn, it must choose move, action, or bonus action.
How many points did you say?
11.
11. Cool.
I'm saving at least 1 3rd-level spell slot for Fireball.
Always a good call. That brings us on to Cam. There's now a large hole in the wall to the south of you.
Okay. She, again, is going to try to spiritual weapon and also regular weapon this thing. Ooh. Oh, I have an advantage. I'm going to use that. Even though I haven't been having good luck, I've literally just rolled 1 more. Well, yep.
Oh,
I'm going to assume that 15 doesn't hit it.
Does not.
So regular weapon now. Does a 17 hit it?
17 does not. You make contact, but not with enough force to do damage.
Mm-hmm.
Or not in the right way.
She brings her weapon in, and it seems like these things are just like getting wise to her attacks now. And she looks over at the others. How's everybody doing? Do we need healing?
Yeah.
I'm taking a battering, but I'm okay.
All right. Well, that'll be the end of her turn, but no, I think she's switching gears in her head a little bit.
All right. And then that brings us to Learas.
Yeah, who's been under constant oppression of attacks and hasn't had a chance to do anything but just attack. It's fine. I really don't have any other options, so I'm going to keep it up. And yep, I'm just going to keep it up and attack this fucking table, I guess. That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost one of the die. Oh, sorry, I got confused. I'm like, my d20's on 20 now. I must have rolled over when the dice hit it or something. 8, 10, 15, plus 6, 21.
Nice.
Piercing.
Yeah, I'll say with all the damage, it's sustained from the unicorn explosion and slamming through the wall. You splinter this table.
Nice. All right. All right, just these books to go, and then we can clear out Cam's room. I don't know why I was rolling multiple things there. Second one's a miss. Third one's a miss.
Yeah, all these little books just like zipping around in this vortex, kind of difficult to make any meaningful contact with them.
This is why I hate libraries.
And on hearing that, the books swarm into your space.
I need it to make a wisdom save.
Yes, thank you. 26.
With the pass, it takes 10 radiant damage.
All right. And because it's mind whipped, it only slow is what gives it only one attack. Mind whip gives it an action, bonus action, or movement. Okay. So then the books. Hey Shanks, you're gonna like this.
What's that?
Does a 12 hit?
Yes! Finally, something below my armor class. Yeah, he's deflecting all these books away with his 2 swords.
You can't hit it, but it seems to not be able to hit you either. So, and then Cam, there is sort of this glowing of energy that seems to be welling up inside of the fireplace here as it just belches coals and fire at you with a 21 to hit.
Yep, anything starting with 20 will
take 17 points of fire damage as just ashes and coal into your general direction.
It's spitting fire now.
That brings us to Wade.
How big is like the roof? Like I want to cast fireball, but I don't want to like catch everything on fire. Can I catch everything on fire?
The apex of the roof is at the highest point no more than 20 feet up.
Tasha's mind whip doesn't really seem all that helpful.
Just do it. We'll figure it out.
Maybe do
Make
it
it
in a
happen.
room we're not standing in. Like, it might still hurt the house.
I mean, it
I'm
just
pretty
doesn't
wet
do a lot
anyway.
of damage,
I'll be okay.
and it still seems to be able to attack like normal. I could do an upcasted chromatic orb at the hearth. Is that the one at the far north?
Yep. The one that's threatening Cam, and you do have a line of sight on that now because of the hole in the wall from the table barreling through.
Yeah, I'll cast chromatic orb at 3rd level at it.
Fabulous. Make an attack roll.
Roll to hit. Of course, do I still have advantage?
Yes, you do.
I'm gonna need that because that was a 1
Oof.
on the die.
Oof.
And that's a 24 to hit. Yeah.
That will hit. Roll me up some damage. What flavor of chromatic orb is this?
It's a lightning, 30 damage.
30. Wade, how would you like to do this?
I would say it's like this it's just, floating over there so slowly, and then just like halfway through, which is like zips, and it's like a lightning bolt just splits it in half, and like all the bricks or whatever just go flying everywhere.
So, beset by a table and a swarm of angry books, Wade lets go of this like ethereal floating moat of crackling energy which drifts lazily halfway across the room before shooting forwards and colliding with this hearth, and concentrating on all of the different like metal cooking implements and the hook for the large cauldron that are hanging over it, and just crackling its way through the bricks of this chimney and just blows a hole in the side of the building as the swarm of books falls to the floor. The knife, which was trying to wiggle itself out of the wall, does, and it falls to the ground. Cling, cling, cling. And calm returns to this area. And you can see through the hole that Wade blew in the wall, the outside.
Well, that's one way to break our way out. Hold on, wait. He slaps him on the shoulder.
And we can come out of combat.
Okay.
I hate this house. I want to watch it burn.
Yeah, we can definitely burn it on our way out. Maybe check to see if there's any valuables left inside. It may have eaten a lot of other adventurers.
I could have accidentally burned things beforehand.
Yeah.
I really didn't like that. Worst welcoming into a house I've ever had.
It's funny because that ability that brought you all inside of it was called invitation.
It was a fight not suited to my best strengths, but we managed.
This house seemed to have like everything. You know, it was hard to hit the house. It was, you know, resistant to the spells I was casting. It counterspelled me somehow.
Oh,
It's a
that
house.
explains it. I thought you were just standing around doing nothing for a while.
That's what it felt like. Yeah. It also, you know, it was, you know, it hurt too. Room. No.
Cam, as you guys are talking about that, she's going to cast aid on all of us. So that's 5. Your hit point maximum increases by 5, and your current hit points increase by 5 for the next 8 hours. And then she's also going to cast a cure wounds each on both of Wade and Learas for 6 healing. And then she's going to just use some of her own innate magic to heal herself up just a little bit.
They were going to search the place to see if any dead adventurers left cool shit in here.
Yeah, I can help.
Or anyone else, I don't know.
Absolutely. Make investigation checks or one with advantage for me, please.
Wade, do you want to do it with advantage? I know you're better at me.
Yeah.
You're better than me at this, however you want to say it.
23. I'm going to go with the 23.
23. Yeah, so you spend a little bit of time going over this house. You find there is a trap door in sort of the kitchen room that Cam spent most of her time in that leads down to a small cellar. And it looks like whatever sort of food, for lack of a better term, this house was able to gather wound up down here. There is a pile of bones. There are several piles of bones down here, which looks like they used to belong to several different creatures. And among them and the assorted debris down here, you're able to find about altogether valuables worth 261 gold pieces.
261?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone cut that last coin in half.
That should be divisible by 3.
Should it? My brain's not working.
Oh yes, 87 pieces.
All right.
Roughly, you know.
80s. But I currently have 69 gold pieces, damn it.
Well, you don't have to take them.
That's fine, I'll take them.
And Cam, can you roll me a religion check, please?
Sure. Not great at that, but also, does she still feel like she's being watched, even here in this house?
Yes, that sense of being observed has not left you since it arrived.
Then can I also she's also gonna cast I think I have a spell. Somewhere. See invisibility as well.
Oh.
She's just curious. But the religion, I got a 7 minus 2 for a 5.
Well, that's interesting that you cast see invisibility because it sort of makes the religion check unnecessary.
Okay.
You can see on that see invisibility, there is some sort of spectral energy of some kind still sort of floating around, kind of going up the walls, licking up to the roof, and kind of like fading off a little bit, almost like an invisible fire is burning around this building. It's not hot or anything, it just has that sort of appearance to it.
Oh.
Right before the actual fire.
Cam is gonna go up to like a somewhat intact portion of the house, and she kind of places her hand sort of like gently on it, and she kind of closes her eyes and it's just like, are you not at rest? She's just like, she whispers under her breath.
Interesting. I feel like Cam should roll something for this.
Okay.
I don't know what is Cam using right now to try and communicate with this entity?
I think mostly she's like trying to if you'll allow for like insight, because she wants to like sense its response mostly to that question.
Insight is fabulous.
That is a 18.
You just, you put your hand up to this into this thin coating of like astral or necrotic fire that's burning up the outside of this building, and you feel rage and anger and pain and hatred, not necessarily towards you, but towards something, and you all just happen to be here.
She can I don't know how this works. Like, are ghosts considered undead? Like,
yes.
Is this something? Okay. I don't think this will work on it, but just for her own, like, this is what she would try. She's going to try to channel her, like, through her holy symbol and use destroy undead, like to try to help this, whatever it is, leave.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a little bit of an off-label use. You're not trying to like unmake it. You're trying to use that energy to help it move along.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Does it normally get some sort of save?
Yes. It's part of the turn undead, which is on a separate section here. Why? Okay. I can see my destroy undead. Where's my turn undead? Turn undead. It is a wisdom saving throw.
All right. I'm gonna say this is too high of a challenge rating normally for this to work, but I like that, so I'm gonna give it a roll anyway. Your DC, it needs to...
It's 16.
16. Okay. So it needs to roll a 7 or lower on the die.
Alrighty.
That's a 2. As you pour some of your divine energy into this structure that has been home to this discontent spirit, you feel that rage lessen and convert into sadness, loss, and disappointment a little bit, but much more calm. Is there anything that Cam does to, like, other than press this energy into it to help this spirit move along?
Once the anger sort of lessens and she kind of identifies with the discontentment, she just kind of thinks of her house and how that made her feel while she was there. And she just kind of places now both her hands as she's pouring like this magic gently in a way that she normally would be doing it forcefully. She just kind of like nudges it a little bit and then takes a step back and waits to see what happens.
Yeah. As the strength of the feeling you're getting lessens and lessens, eventually you're not feeling any energy from this entity anymore. And you think that, maybe it's moved on. There is just a second where you get a little pang of gratitude before it truly becomes still in here.
Yeah, I think she turns to the others, whatever it is that they're doing, and sees that they're off. And she just kind of, she's like, she feels a little bit proud of that moment of using just like some innate ability that she learned as soon as she left her home. Yeah.
Very nice. And are the other two up to anything other than searching the house during this time?
No.
Yeah.
I would have been trying to ritually cast Identify. I know what's going on with the house and I wanted to see.
Yeah. So I'll say as you start casting Identify, the spell starts to go off and you start getting some information back about an entity possessing this structure. I guess for lack of a better term, the spell like crashes as Cam releases the spirit from whatever was holding it here, and it's like, yes, this spirit has been possessing this house since there's nothing here. Is kind of the vibe that you get off of the spell.
Actually, change of mind. While he's casting that and Cam's dealing with the spirit, I think Learas will climb up onto the roof to get his bearings and see if he can pinpoint where that village is compared to where they are now.
Sure, yeah. Make a perception check.
More.
That is an 18.
On an 18, say good thinking getting on the roof. You're above some of the trees, the thicker part of the trees. You're above the thickest of the fog that's clinging to the ground, and you are aided by the dark now. There are a series of points of light you can see coming from not too far away from you, maybe a mile or two. To the north. Looks like you skirted just a little bit south of where you were intending to be.
Good. All right. He's going to kind of make a note of that and be prepared to head off in that direction when everyone's done. But we're also way over time.
Oh, are we?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oops. For some reason, I thought this went till 10 today. So I think that's a great place to leave it then, I guess. Thanks for staying late, players. Sorry about that. Hope everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
Fighting
Question.
a house. And we will be back here with more of whatever this is in 2 weeks.
Whatever this is.
But before that, we'll be back here on Monday with another episode of Echoes of Convergence.
Echo.
No Embers and Arcanum this week because reasons, but there'll be
GaryCon.
one because GaryCon. So if you're mad that we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons, curse the name of Gary Gygax, I guess.
There you go.
But we need to go find somebody to raid. And
I have somebody to raid.
We don't need to find anybody to raid. We already know who we're doing. Who are we going to go see?
We're
Another
gonna
World
go.
Tabletop. Amazing.
Yes, they're playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Ooh, that's exciting. I don't know if anybody in the chat is in the Knights of Silver Moon Vampire game to know when the next one is, but there is another one coming up. I'm given to understand that they're usually on Wednesday. So maybe that'll be happening. I don't know, but they're cool. And that's a fun game. But I think I'm going to get ready for bed now, and I hope everybody has a lovely night and a lovely weekend. And remember to play with the top down. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. We love you.
I swear to God, I'm not riffing off things.